Welcome, one and all, to today's Creators Live. That was a cool song to intro into. Woo, Wednesday, yeah! All right, so we got a lot of cool stuff going on. There's Yvonne. There they are. Okay. All right, so we got some cool stuff to talk about today. You guys can see that Edgar has joined us. So let's say hi to Edgar. Hi, Edgar. We'll get to him later. For my regulars, you already know, we're starting with some wins. For those of you who are new, we like to start the meeting with going over some wins from this last week, last month, something you've been working on that you're proud of. Doesn't have to be something professional. It can be something personal or financial, whatever you want that you consider to be a win in your life. It helps to kind of enrich everybody else's motivation and helps to raise everybody up when you see that other people are winning too. So let's start it out. We got Jeff in here today. Jeff, I was talking to you a little bit earlier. Can you give us a win that you've had from this last week?
A win?
A win. Let's hear
A win. Gosh. Well, I'm sort of gearing up for this new DTF printer that I'm getting. But yeah, I mean, I'm getting busier. I would say my win has been that I'm rebooting my websites through Shopify, and all their plugins are it's gelling together to do a print on demand website in conjunction with the DTF machine. So I'm really excited to do the rollout in about a month or 5 weeks once the machine arrives. So yeah, so that's my win.
Great to hear. And you've joined on a really great episode for that, because we're going to be joined by Edgar, who will talk about our Wurk platform, which is very similar to what you're launching. So maybe you can glean some good tips off of him.
Cool.
Thank you so much for sharing. Let's hear from Dennis. Dennis, you haven't been on in a couple of weeks. I'm so happy to see you, and I see you have a guest with you today. So we're going to get 2 wins out of you guys. Each of you owes me a win.
Okay, my win, I finally get my divorce done, so I'm happy about that. Okay.
Done. Okay.
So I'm Brad. I'm his brother. My win would be he's actually moving down here to be closer with family, and we moved the printer down to my basement that we're finished.
Down to our big screen printing operation.
Ooh, okay.
So, but once my house sells, I can buy more equipment.
There you go. Yeah, scale up.
We're ready for another DTF.
We're on it. Okay, we'll get you set up. All right, Michael and Yvonne have a win to share from the looks of it. They've got their hand raised. Let's hear it.
So we just finished an order to help raise money for childhood cancer. And every one of the prints for the shirts was done on our DTF.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, and we have a new Facebook page.
Yes. Okay, I was wondering if you were going to bring that up too. I was going to add that. Drop the link in here. Awesome. Okay, so that's great. I love the charity work that a lot of you guys do. It's really inspiring. I know Ron does a lot of charity work. Victor, I'm pretty sure you've mentioned charity work in the past. So that's really great to hear. Let's see here. Does anyone else want to volunteer a win? I just thought of another win for Michael and Yvonne. You guys have had your iStitch, and you finally got trained on it. So before we move into the main content with Edgar, I did want to ask you guys, you did promise a review to the group of what you think of our new iStitch equipment.
The iStitch has some features that my other machine doesn't have. The little block on the side of the machine that you put your hat hoop on, that is awesome. Michael's going to figure out how to put one on my other machine. And it has a duplicate button on it. I haven't had an opportunity to do some samples and send them to you so you can show everybody.
Yeah, you'll have to send some down. I'd love to see your work.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Happy to hear it's up and running and everything's going good. Okay. All right. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, and then we'll let Edgar get started. Last week we teased you guys with a little bit of the AI video. And then once it dropped, it performed better than most of our content usually does. So I wanted to go ahead and tease for you guys. We are going to be producing that part 2 that we promised in the video. It performed well enough that it's clear that people want to see more AI related content. So we are in the process of building that. And so that's all the stuff I wanted to bring you guys up to speed on. We'll talk about the trade shows we got going on this month towards the end, but let's get into Edgar, and Edgar's going to take us through a little bit regarding Wurk.
Hey, Brian, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Excellent. Yes, we can hear you perfect.
Hey, Michael. Hey, Dennis. Hey, Victor. Everybody else that's on here. Pretty much what I was gonna go through is I'm gonna show you how to quickly set up 2 different stores. One is gonna be what's called a live store, where your customers can go online and upload their graphics and then do it that way. The other one is going to be where you can have a pre-decorated store, like for some of you that maybe work with schools, you want to have their merch online, so the students, the teachers, or the faculty can just go on there and purchase online. Super easy. And then I know, I, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Jeff Bloomberg.
True. Yeah.
So Jeff, I know you mentioned right now that you're working, because do you have our direct to film printer?
I will. I'm getting it delivered end of the month.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll definitely, touch it a little bit, in regards to the Shopify integration that our system allows.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the third way, but let me share my screen. So for those of you that are not familiar with our platform, it's super easy to use. My background, in case you guys don't know, my background is in printing and fulfillment, and I've actually been, working with our software development team, kind of building this platform up, out for, the past, 6 years or so. I used to use Deco Network. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that. I used to use Deco Network, Inksoft, a lot of platforms. So, I kind of took a lot of stuff that I liked, didn't like, and kind of scaling up from there. But once you're in here, I'm not going to go too much into detail as far as like the different sections and how they work. We can definitely, if you want to put your email in the chat, I can send you some like basic overview videos on how it works. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to get a couple different stores up. So, so those of you that are familiar with this or have the account, you just go to administration, you go to stores. Then we're gonna go to new store. So for the first one, we're gonna create what's called a customizable store. So this is where your customers are gonna be able to order online. So for this one, let's call this one Creators Live. We're gonna pick our logo for this. So let's go with our logo. So step one, the name of your store, pick the actual design. Let me move my zoom camera. It's kind of in the middle. There we go. Then we're going to go to continue. Then we're going to select what kind of categories we want to offer. As an example for this one, I'm going to keep it simple and just do men's t-shirts. But you can literally come in here and create, men's apparel, women's apparel, toddlers, face masks, bags. So you can literally add whatever category you want to add. A lot of our customers, I know Ron, I helped them add, sublimation, Steins on there and so forth. So for this one, we'll keep it to men's t-shirts. We'll continue. And then we already have products already added. And, in the videos that we have sent, we have default, like when I was doing printing for 12 years, I have my catalog of like 120 different products that as a work user, you can just upload by default. So I was doing printing for, in case some of you guys don't know, I was doing printing for like Uber, Coca-Cola, Facebook, and a lot of them drop ship different styles. So you get access to the, you know, to all the stuff that I would offer. So like, let's say for this one, I'm gonna just do this, you know, anvil, then this AS color, canvas. So I'm gonna start with these three right here. I'm gonna go to continue. Then it gives you the option when you're creating it, you know, I'm gonna keep the same price because on the back office, you set how much you want to charge for the shirt plus the decoration. So the customer sees the total. So as an example, you're charging $10 for the printing, you know, $10 for the shirt. Your total cost is gonna be $20. So for this one, you know, I want to keep the pricing the same. Then we're gonna go to, you also have the option to mark up by a percentage if, you know, you're doing, you know, for whatever reason, you have your default pricing and you want to mark it up by like 25%, 50%, you know, you can go ahead and do that. So we'll go to continue. Shipping methods, you know, you guys can do Wurk, USPS, UPS. For the most part, when I was doing fulfillment, I would have, you know, regular mail, UPS, and then Wurk. So you get to pick and choose, you know, what you want to offer. We go to continue. We just review that we're looking good. You know, I added 3 products. Here's a banner. I mean, the logo. Then we're going to publish it. And then I have it right here, creators live. So it automatically created it. So if I, you know, open this specific link right here. So that's how I was able to quickly, you know, create this website, the logo. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to add a custom banner and footer. So let's say for the header, we're going to add, see here, we're going to add banner 1, banner 2.
Hey, will you bring me a cup?
So you can have different banners already set up. Then this way right here, we're going to hit close. So I just added a rotating banner, and then I'm going to add a footer on there. And then I'm also going to show you, you know, an example of a customer actual functioning store that we have as well. So let's see here, footer. Okay. So now if I go to the page and refresh it, now we have the, you know, the professional looking banners on here. You know, these are designed to rotate, you know, depending on, you know, the different ones that I added. We have the you know, footer on here. So these are already rotating. And then let me show you an example of an actual customer. So this is an example of, you know, one of our customers. You know, they have the different things that they do on here. And then they have also, you know, a live store as well. So then they went ahead and did the whole, you know, they have it for fulfillment and so forth. So this is how it lets you, you know, if you have an existing website or if you do like a Shopify, you know, you can add, you know, a different button on there that it forwards them, you know, to this specific site right here. And then you can have, you know, a custom domain on there as well. And then I'm going to show you, I'm not sure if anybody has any questions. You know, it literally took me, I'm not sure, Brian, like, you know, under 5 minutes to get a full functioning web store online where, you know, your customers can literally come in here, pick the product. So your customers, you know, the main goal when I was doing printing was to have your customers come in here, you know, come in here, pick the size, pretty much do everything. They can pick exactly what they're looking to do. Let me upload, you know, I'm just gonna do the logo right here. So your customers can go through the whole process of, you know, putting it exactly where they want it, scaling it up. It lets them know where they're at. And, you know, I'm gonna, you know, spoiler alert, or not spoiler alert, just to let you know what's coming in the next 4 weeks. We're gonna have a new online designer, Brian, and we modified this one specifically for direct to film as well. So let me show you ours.
You guys heard it here first. So we're getting the DTF designer too.
Yeah, so if you see right here, we have for our main Omni store, we have, you know, where you can have 14 inches by 20 inches, you know, which is pretty competitive. for direct to film sheets. So a lot of like if you're part of our business in a box, you know, I help you set up if you do direct to film, set up this category and subcategory. So that way you can send your customers be like, hey, I need a couple films. Yeah, no problem. Go in there, pick exactly what you want. So let me add the same thing. So your customers can literally come in here and, you know, let me see if I can zoom out a little. So your customers can upload a file that, you know, for this one, it's 14 by 20. So they can actually upload one big file that's 14 by 20 with a bunch of different copies on here. Most of the wholesale customers, from my experience, they'll have the big files with, you know, with like several copies of this. But our new online designer, what it's going to allow our customers to do that maybe they don't really know how to do Photoshop or they're not wholesale, they're going to be able to quickly add one image and quickly duplicate them. So you can quickly copy, you know, however many fit in here. In this case, you know, maybe 8. So you'll be able to quickly copy these, fill it up with 8. You'll be able to maybe have a big one, then another one smaller for left chest and copy it. So you'll be able to allow your customers to, on your live store, quickly order their direct to film transfers. So then that way you don't have to worry about like somebody emailing you and be like, hey, I need 10 sheets for the back, you know, a logo for the front. Here are my designs. Can you get me 10 sheets? And you have to go through this whole manual process of creating the art. So this is what it's going to allow you to offer that to your customers. And then once somebody orders online, let's say we would have gone through the whole checkout process on that, you would have seen your order comes in, it tells you what store, like live store, it would say, you know, or Shopify, you know, the customer name. So I can literally click on the order and it would give me all the important details, the shipping, you know, everything that I need to do for this, the blank. So I can download this for production. Like let's say if I'm doing one-offs, I can download this image for either direct to garment or for direct to film. And for direct to film, what it'll do is that it'll mirror the image for you. But the cool thing, you know, a lot of our customers are doing direct to film, Brian, is when you have a bunch of orders in the back end. So I'm gonna select these 3, just as an example. I'm gonna download my images for our roll to roll. And what that's gonna do, are you still seeing my screen?
Yes.
Are you able to see the artwork?
No.
Okay, you're not able to see the artwork?
I think you're just sharing the screen for your browser.
Oh, okay, I see. So pretty much just what it does for those of you that can't see, it'll get, like as an example, if you have 4 orders, it'll literally take the artwork for those 4 orders. It'll create one big production sheet, and each order will be separated by a white line. And actually it'll be separated by a line that's CMYK plus white. This is, you know, we added this feature because of the feedback. You know, I want to give credit where credit's due. I got that feedback from Dennis. So that's something that it's gonna do. It's gonna create your files separated, you know, ready for production. So then that way you can really scale up, you know, when you're doing DTF. And the next tier up, Brian, when you're doing direct to film fulfillment, you can actually go to our Wurk Pro where it allows you to scan and print, which means, you know, if you download, you know, as an example, 10 orders, it'll create one big file. You scan it, it sends all those orders to your DTF printer, and it'll just start printing. You don't have to worry about opening up the files and the rip and, you know, going that route.
Nice.
But you know, the main advantage with having the file specifically for DTF like that is because, you know, a lot of the customers that I talk to, you know, their bottleneck is, you know, hey, I have, you know, 10 orders. I need you know, I always have to open up, put them in Photoshop, mirror them. Then I have to calculate the quantities. Or, you know, my customers are emailing me and texting me what they want. And, you know, maybe the artwork's not the best. So, you know, on our online designer, if they upload something that says maybe like, you know, it's a low resolution, it'll tell them, hey, you know, it's a low resolution. So, I kind of just went through the process right now, how quickly within like 5 minutes, I was able to get a full functional, store on there where your customers can literally come in here, uh, review it, and go through the whole checkout process. So literally you can go online, you can literally, be rocking and rolling, the same day with a website. So that's the example of, your customers ordering online. And then I'm gonna quickly interrupt me, Brian, if you have any questions or if anybody raises their hand. Uh, I see a couple hands
I have
up
a couple
there.
of questions as well.
Yeah, for sure.
First, would you mind stopping the screen share and redoing it so that we can see that graphic? I think an important piece is to show them the importance of Dennis's feedback with that CMYK line. So I want to have a visual for that. And then while you do that, maybe you can answer my other question. For the payment aspect of things, what payment collection processes can you integrate into Wurk, into those sites?
Oh yeah, super simple. You just enter my information and then I get paid for everything, Brian.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, it
No,
goes
we
to your
support,
bank account.
yeah, we support Stripe and PayPal. So I always recommend, Stripe. It's kind of like the competitor of PayPal. I've used it in the past, super easy to use. Then let me see if I can share my the art. Just give me 1 second.
Great. In the meantime, let's see. We've got Ron has his hand raised. Let's hear from you, Ron. Hear from you, Ron.
Can you see the artwork now?
Yes. Yeah.
Let me just move the pictures around. Let me scale it up. So you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
So you can see the 3 different designs on there.
Yep, that's rad.
So what I did is I selected 3 different orders, and then I went ahead and created, the production file for that, and it mirrored it already. And then it has the job numbers on there. We are making the job numbers bigger. We are having like the thicker lines. And the reason, and I'm gonna give credit where credit's due, is that we added, the CMYK plus white line that divides each order, is because the feedback that I got from not only from Dennis but from other customers is that you can be printing, let's say 10 orders, and they're all white logos. Maybe by the 11th one you have some color in there. So since you've been just printing white, when it gets to that 11th one, maybe you need to do a head cleaning to kind of get those color lines, being at 100%. So what it does, that every time it does one, let's say you do one design, one order, and then it goes to the next order, maybe they're all white, but each order is going to be separated by it's gonna look like a bold line that goes across it, but it's literally going to be a line of yellow, magenta, cyan, black, and white. So literally, as it's going from one print to the next, it's making sure that you have those good nozzles continually being used. So it allows you to do longer production runs and minimize the head cleanings. So that's the main reason we're adding that, based on the feedback that I received.
So Edgar, when the customer uploads to the decorator, I noticed that the base is set up as the width and length of a roll. So is that interchangeable for folks that use the free jets for their sizes, or does it all happen once you download the artwork, you download it as the regular DTF or the free jet?
No, you can configure it to whatever size that you have. So as an example, are you still seeing my screen, Ron?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I go to subcategories right here, and then, the cool thing with your Wurk software is like all these categories and subcategories is literally what I built out over my 12 years of printing. So you have like men's, all the men's apparel and so forth. So then if we go to, let me see here, the digital transfers, I have, the 12.5 by 18. And then I have, 14 by 36, 14 by 20. So if you just have the free jet, we can just add the 12.5 by 18. So like as an example for our specific store, if I go to stores, let me see for the one that I just did right now, see creators live. If I go to where I can add more categories. So if I go to my DTF and then I select, 12.5, let me select the 12.5 by 18, 14 by 20. I'm gonna publish that. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the product. And since we have quite a bit of products, it's gonna take, a little bit to open these up. But what I'm doing, Ron, to answer your question is that you can configure the software to decorate any product that you have. So as an example, when I helped you add those, steins that you do for sublimation, we literally added the decoration area that, we talked about for those specific steins that you sublimate. So you can add any product, like as an example for the youth t-shirts, you might do 10 inches by 10 inches or, 10 by 13. I know when I was doing production for youth, we use the youth platen, which I believe is like 10 by 13 inches. So when your customers decorate those youth apparel, they're limiting to the 10 by 13, or you can actually specify yourself, what decoration size, like we have on here, the ceramic mugs, all the different products that we can add on there. So if I go to the, 12.5 by 18 and the 14 by 20. Let me scroll down. So now I have 5 products. So now if I come to our Creators Live store, then I refresh it. Crossing my fingers as it's loading, Brian.
Yeah, I am too. Here we go. There we go.
Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So now we added, the transfers on here.
Okay.
So we have, 12.5 by 18. Right there. And Ron, I sent you a follow-up email on Friday summarizing the 15 emails that I've sent you, and I have all the how-to videos on how to do this. You're killing me. So we have this specifically for the free jet.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
just hired
Uh-huh.
some temporary help, so this is gonna free me up to start to work, to finish this up now. So it's a positive.
Yeah, for sure. I'm here to help.
Jeff has his hand raised. Let's hear from Mr. Jeff.
Yeah, is this a free service? You just go to workflow.net and create your store, and then do you guys host the website?
No, this is actually it's a paid software, it's a paid service.
Oh,
So
okay.
for the one that I'm showing you right now, it's $4.99 to get started and includes your first month. Then after that, it's $99 a month for our Work Basic, which is the one that I'm showing you. And you get to receive orders 4 ways. One is online, which is how I showed you how to quickly create a website. 2 is a decorated website, which is what I'm gonna go through right now. 3 is if somebody has an existing Shopify store, you can connect to that store. As an example, if they have 100 t-shirt designs, you can connect to Shopify and say, hey, out of the 100 designs on this Shopify account, I'm gonna print 20 of those. You connect them, how you would normally do. I believe, Jeff, you mentioned that you've done, third-party fulfillment, print on demand, and so forth. So you would do the same steps. It connects to Shopify. So whenever an order comes in Shopify, it automatically comes into the back office of right here to manage your orders. And then also, when I was doing printing, I was doing printing for like larger companies. They would send me purchase orders for like thousands of shirts or hundreds of shirts. Then you can create an order manually on the back end, super easy. You just go and create a new order the same way that a customer orders online. You create an order the same way, and then you email it to them with the quantities, the pricing. And I would always tell customers, hey, by you paying the invoice online, you approve all the terms. But it is a paid the office, Jeff. But I look at it more than just a website. It's to manage your whole print shop.
Yeah, fair enough. So if I wanted to do it, I just go to workflow.net and like log in and enter my information, and then it'll ask me to pay, and then I'm a functional customer, so to speak, right? If I wanted to proceed, I would just log in on my own and follow the prompts and go through all this.
Oh, did we lose him? I think we lost Edgar.
He's frozen.
Well, the answer should be yes for that.
Okay.
If you have any difficulties or have any questions while you're doing it, you can reach out to me. You have my number from earlier, right?
Oh, I sure do.
Okay. Conveniently, Edgar lasted just long enough to get some good information across. So if you have questions about Wurk, I would say write them down for now so that when Edgar reconnects here in a minute, you can ask him.
Yeah, for some reason, my internet kicked me off. I know I was in the middle of answering Jeff's question.
Yeah, Brian kind of filled me in. I just was curious how, I just log in and follow the prompts and enter my credit card, pay for the services, and then I can start uploading and doing all that and so forth. So that's all I needed to know.
Yeah, and the way that, like I said, I'm part of the development team for the software, and the reason that I decided that we need to make this super easy, super basic. The videos that I sent out are like step by step. You watch it on one side and you're literally doing it on the other side. It's super easy to use, because there's other software that I've used, where you have to pay $3,000-$4,000, just not for them to do it for you, but just for you to learn how to use the software, because that's how intense it is. So,
Yeah.
We wanted to do it super easy, especially for our customers. That's why I wanted to show right now, how in 5 minutes we can get a website up and rolling.
So if I do buy into it, you send it like a tutorial video?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
You gotta ask Ron how many emails you get from me a week.
A lot.
A lot.
Okay,
Because
perfect.
my goal is for you to be successful, because I tell customers, within your first 30 days, the goal is to have full functioning business, you getting your orders, your customers paying online. Because my goal with any new user is like, okay, if you're not making orders or getting orders, there's no reason for you to use this. But this platform, like even if you don't do any printing, right? Let's say if you outsource everything, you don't have any equipment, you can literally have a website, your customers order online, you outsource your orders, somebody can outsource their orders to you, Jeff, for printing. And so when I was doing production, I would outsource a lot of my embroidery and screen printing before I brought it in-house. So you can literally set it up, where your customers can order online.
That was some really good stuff. So the point of this and how this ties into the content we've been doing previously, those of you who have been following along regularly, we've been doing a lot of content with our FreeJet, and you can interchange the FreeJet with whatever machine you have. But the point is, show the initial steps were showing you everything that you can do with your machine or at least giving you ideas of other creative applications for it. And from there, the next step is making a work store so you can start selling it. So the coming content is going to kind of continue in this path. If there's something specific that you guys are looking to learn, I want you to drop it into the chat here so that we can kind of review it after this and make sure that we can integrate that. Because at the end of the day, it's all about delivering the information that you want to learn. So if we're not delivering that, then we got to kind of readjust. Okay, let's see here.
I put my contact in the chat as well if anybody wants to
Great.
reach out for me.
Excellent. Yeah, so any work-related questions, you reach out to Edgar. You can mail a check to his house. He'll give you his address. Valerie liked that one. Thank you for laughing at that. Okay, so a little bit of a shorter one today. Wanted to make sure to give you guys a more in-depth introduction to Wurk. So maybe in the future we'll build out a store more specific for Creators Live, and we can show more of the social media aspects and integrating that store outwards. So I think that's all for today. Does anyone have any other questions before we go ahead and wrap it up?
Okay, sorry, what is the name of the software, just so I can log in and look at it?
Wurk. We're going to go ahead. Do we have a link to drop? Yeah. Edgar already dropped the link. So workflow.net.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Okay, guys. So keep an eye out on our social media platforms, all of you. We're doing a lot of really neat stuff. We're ramping up our content production, and we're going to be producing all kinds of really neat videos and posts. So make sure you follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram. Instagram's a really popular one. We're starting to make more headway into that TikTok space. So make sure you're following us there. For those of you who have the equipment, make sure you're taking advantage of our knowledge base website that you can find on our main omniprintonline.com under the support tab. The knowledge base is where you can get all kinds of in-depth tutorials and manuals, and pretty much everything that we cover on Creators Live is also there in the knowledge base. So that's it for today, and we will see you guys next Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific. Bye, y'all.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
All right.